This is the early morning of the 30th of January, 2026. A clip put up by Death Row Secrets. Nikolas Cruz sentenced. Parkland school shooters. Execution was planned. Death Row Secret. This plays for about 22 minutes. Don't know how much I'm going to play, but you'll have it to listen to its entirety. But before I get into it, I want to provide you some insights. This is just my observation. And there's a school teacher by the name of Stacy Lapel. When this event took place, she looked down the hall and she said, "What are they doing here?" She testified this to Congress. She saw what appeared to be a policeman, complete with face shields, body armor, helmet, and an AR-15. He shot at her and he grazed her in her arm. The next shot put a bullet in the teacher in the next room, right in his head. He died. Now, Congress, to the best of my knowledge, never did anything to investigate further. Then there was a helicopter that captured 4 men leaving the side door of Parkland right after the shooting. And they were carrying a large duffel bag between 2 of them. They placed the duffel bag into a Ford F-150. Government issue. Well, Gabe, how do you know it was government issued? Because it had the little white lights flashing on the bumperette. That's how I know. Now, what were 4 people doing leaving the side door of an active shooting scene? That was never investigated either. And I believe that Nikolas Cruz is a complete, total Patsy, brainwashed by MK Ultra. Let's listen to some of this clip.
Welcome back to our channel, True Crime Enthusiasts. I'm John Garfield. The young man you're seeing here is still known to many as the Parkland school shooter, Nikolas Cruz, who at just 19 years old unleashed a nightmare that claimed the lives of 17 innocent people in a horrific school shooting. And these are his words of apology for his crime.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me. And I love you, and I know you don't believe me. And I'm trying my best to maintain my composure, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me a chance to try to help others. If I believe it's your decision to decide where I go, whether I live or die. Not the jury's, I believe it's your decision. I'm sorry.
It all went down on February 14th, 2018, Valentine's Day, of all days, at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Cruz, a former student expelled for behavioral issues, showed up armed with an AR-15 style rifle. In a matter of minutes, he fired into classrooms and hallways, leaving a trail of devastation. 14 students and 3 staff members dead, another 17 wounded. Chaos erupted as alarms blared and kids fled in terror. But how does a teenager barely out of high school pull off something so monstrous? What twisted path led him there? Here's what shocks even the most jaded true crime fans. In cases like Dylan Roof's Charleston Church Massacre or Timothy McVeigh's Oklahoma City bombing, acts of terror with...
Timothy McVeigh was another Patsy. He didn't bring down the Murrah building. He might have thought he did, but he didn't. The building blew out, didn't blow in. And it had a government office there where it had federal agents. They received a warning on their pages not to come to work that day. I mean, come on, this isn't rocket science. Unexploded ordnance was reportedly found inside the Murray building. Timothy McVeigh was set up is a patsy. Let's go back.
Fewer victims, they got the death penalty. Yet Cruz walked away with life without parole. Why? Florida law at the time demanded a unanimous 12-year jury vote for execution. Here, it was 9-3 in favor, so 3 holdouts flipped the script to life. It's a glaring flaw in the system where one juror's doubt can override justice for 17 families. Is that fair? Was the verdict too lenient for the carnage? And what about the bigger picture? With school shootings on the rise, over 300 in the U.S. since 2018, are we failing to prevent them, or are they being ignored to push gun control agendas? Are everyday Americans just pawns in the debate? We're revisiting this case not to judge the sentence as right or wrong, but to highlight how current penalties spark more controversy than deterrence. Real change is needed to stop these tragedies. Before we get into the full story, hit that like button, share this video with a friend, drop your thoughts in the comments, what do you think about the verdict, and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime. Now, let's break down the chilling details of the Parkland massacre. Let's start right away with the most important developments of the case, the shooting itself on that February afternoon in Parkland. I have gathered information from police reports, witness statements, and court transcripts. Get ready because there will be behaviors that are very hard for us to accept. The day was February 14, 2018. Nikolas Cruz stepped out of an Uber at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School just after 2 p.m. He carried a black backpack. Inside sat an AR-15 rifle, broken down into parts along with 7 magazines loaded with 30 rounds each. He wore a maroon hoodie from the school's JROTC program. He walked toward the freshman building. At 2:19 p.m., he assembled the gun in a stairwell. 2 minutes later, at 2:21 p.m., he pulled the fire alarm. Bells rang. Doors opened. Students and teachers filed into hallways. Cruz raised the rifle. He fired through door windows into classrooms. Bullets punched through glass. Bodies hit the floor. He moved room to room on the first floor. In room 516, a geography class, he shot students huddled under desks. One girl clutched her phone. Another boy tried to shield a friend. Blood pooled on tiles. He climbed stairs to the second floor. More shots echoed. On the third floor, he targeted a Holocaust history class. Teacher Scott Beigel unlocked his door to let students in. Cruz shot him in the chest. Beigel collapsed in the doorway. The attack ran 6 minutes. By 2:27 p.m., Cruz stopped firing. He dropped the rifle and vest in a stairwell. He ran down steps, joined the crowd fleeing the building. 14 students died. 3 staff members died. 12 bodies lay inside the school. 2 fell in the yard outside. 1 crumpled on the street nearby. 2 more died at Broward Health North Hospital. 17 others got hit. Some took multiple rounds. A boy lost part of his leg. A girl had bullets tear through her lungs. Cruz used a semi-automatic rifle. It spat 10mm hollow point bullets. They expanded on impact, tore flesh wide. Cruz blended into the chaos. He walked off campus, headed south on Pine Island.
10 millimeter? I don't know of any AR that's a 10 millimeter. I think that's just a mistake. Like all the rest of this.
Road, stopped at a Walmart, bought a drink from Subway inside, then to a McDonald's, sat for a bit, left, kept walking. At 3:40 p.m., Coconut Creek police spotted him in a neighborhood 2 miles away. He matched the description, maroon shirt, black hat. Officers drew guns. Cruz dropped to the ground, hands up, no resistance. They cuffed him, found a loaded magazine in his pocket. In the patrol car, Cruz talked. He said voices told him to do it. Later at the station, he confessed more. I chose Valentine's Day because no one loved me, he said. I wanted to ruin the holiday for everyone. He described the plan, researched school shootings online, picked the date weeks ahead, bought the gun a year before, practiced at a range, loaded magazines the night prior. The words came flat, no tears. What made him pull that alarm at exactly 2:21 p.m.? Had he timed it for maximum crowds in the halls? And why drop the gear in the stairwell? Did he plan to escape from the start, or did panic set in? Those moves show calculation, but leave gaps. How did a 19-year-old assemble a rifle so quick in a public spot without notice? The scene stayed locked down for hours, bodies covered in sheets. Parents waited outside. Phones rang unanswered. By evening, names came out. Alyssa Al-Hadab, 14, soccer player. Jaime Gutenberg, 14, dancer. Scott Beigel, 35, teacher who saved kids. The toll hit hard. Students gathered. Chants rose. Days later, survivors spoke on TV, demanded change. March for Our Lives formed. Thousands marched in D.C. on March 24, pushed for gun laws, bans on assault weapons, background checks. But that blood on the floors didn't spill without roots, years of signals ignored, a mind bent by losses and disorders that no one fully grabbed. Stick around, because next we'll peel back the layers on Cruz's start, where family breaks and missed calls built a storm, raising questions on what twisted him to pick up that gun and why the warnings fell flat.
I'm going to stop it at the 7-minute and 13-second mark. Like I said, I don't believe that he did it. I believe those 4 individuals that left the side door of an active shooting scene in a official, what looked like police vehicle with those flashing white lights on the bumperette, and that bag they had all their weapons. They've got the ballistics. They can determine whether or not they came from different guns, which is what I believe they did. I mean, you're not going to go to the first floor, the second floor, the third floor. I mean, come on. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. That's just sort of what I think. I can't do this alone, folks. Pass it along, and thanks for listening. There's more for you to watch.